Court documents just dropped a political nuclear bomb. The JLP allegedly pocketed US $5 million from a Ponzi schemer now serving 30 years in prison. And by the end of this video, you will see why Andrew Holness is dodging questions like Usain Bolt on the last leg of a relay. Jamaica loves a good political scandal, but this one, it's giving Netflix series with extra jerk sauce. Court documents says a convicted fraudster, David Smith, from the infamous Olint Ponzi scheme, allegedly handed the JLP a whopping US $5 million for their 2007 general election campaign. And by the end of this video, you are going to see how deep this rabbit hole goes, why the PNP looks squeaky clean compared to the Labour Party, and how Andrew Holness is still dodging the big question: will the JLP ever return the dirty money? The JLP still investigating their US $5 million Ponzi scheme donation after all these years. Meanwhile, the PNP admitted their small Olint contribution openly. Who really looking like the transparent party here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
However, the PNP accepted and received $1 million from Olint. He has no credibility to talk about Ponzi scheme. They benefited from the Ponzi scheme to fund their election campaign.
Enter the Ponzi King, David Smith, the villain. Smith ran Olint, a get-rich-quick Ponzi scheme across the Caribbean and Florida, scamming over US $200 million from innocent investors. Sentenced to 30 years in prison in 2011. But here's the plot twist. While Granny was losing her retirement savings, the Jamaica Labour Party was cashing big checks from Smith's fraudulent empire. And we're not talking small change. We're talking about enough money to buy a few North Coast villas, or at least fund every green shirt and curry goat rally from Negril to Morant Bay. Imagine losing your savings to Olint and then finding out the JLP used that same dirty money to fund campaign rallies. Should the $5 million be returned to the Jamaican people? Comment yes or no in the comments below. Court documents drop the bomb. Turks and Caicos Supreme Court issues a confiscation order. Inside the bombshell, US $5 million to the Jamaica Labour Party in 2007. Also mentions US $2 million to PNP and US $1 million to PJ Patterson. But here's the difference. PJ Patterson flat out denied ever touching a cent. The PNP admitted only US $1 million made it into an account that Patterson didn't even control. And they said, listen, Olint was still a legal company at the time, so why would we return it? Logical, right? Clean, no dodging. Meanwhile, Andrew Holness steps up to the podium like a man trying to explain why he's 2 hours late coming home, full of excuses, sidestepping every real question. He says the JLP is still verifying if it was really US $5 million. Years later, sir, this is not CSI Miami. The money either dropped or it didn't. Holness quote, "We want to be precise before making a statement. In my expert breakdown opinion, that's a classic political stalling tactic. But wait, here's where the hypocrisy gets too loud to ignore. What the JLP did next make them look even worse. PNP admitted what came in, denied what they didn't get. JLP, years later, still dodging the same $5 million question. Which party looks more like it has Jamaica's best interest at heart? Darrell Vaz admits $50,000 donation, but claims it was political, not personal. Holness refuses to confirm whether they'll return the $5 million. Years later, still investigating. So while regular Jamaicans were lining up outside courts, crying for justice after losing their savings to Olint, the JLP was sipping campaign champagne off Ponzi dollars. And instead of accountability, we get endless dodging. Compare that with the PNP. Clear denials, transparent admissions, and zero evidence of pocketing personal funds. The real difference: one party looks like it's run by grown adults. The other looks like it's managed by a man hiding test papers under his mattress. So that's the major difference between the PNP and the JLP. Now, when you compare the PNP response to that of the JLP response, the PNP come out with clear denials, more transparent admissions, and total zero evidence of pocketing any personal funds. But with the JLP appear excuses and dodging real questions. No clear answer, no clearly defined answers you can get from the JLP. So now we have two conflicting statements from Darrell Vaz. He tell the BBC one thing and then he tell the Jamaica Gleaner something totally different, something totally opposite, and that kind of come off as a flip-flop. I don't know why him a flip-flop between two different statements with two different mainstream media outlets. One international, the BBC is international, them they are England. The other one local. Could it be that the minister is lying? That's the question I may ask. Well, my mother always say, lie no have no memory. So you will ask somebody something 1 week later and then give you a different answer for the same question. So they end up a flip-flop between two different answers or multiple different answers for the same one question that was asked. So, Mr. Vaz has denied that any donation he received from Smith was a personal gift. And that is a direct quote from a BBC news article. Yes, even the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, covered this back in 2012. So this was a big story. So what I want to know is, Vaz say any donation he received from David Smith was a personal gift. Was that gift cash or kind? Was that $50,000 the personal gift we Vaz talk about? $50,000 to West Portland Member of Parliament Darrell Vaz, while Vaz has claimed that the money was a political, not a personal donation. So which is it, Darrell Vaz? Can you keep on a flip-flop? Yes, yeah, flip-flop, cause over the BBC, you say only gift or donation you get from David Smith was a personal gift. And in the Jamaica Gleaner, yeah, say the $50,000 wasn't a personal gift, but a political one, a political contribution, not a personal contribution. So which is it? Allow me to just reiterate this for emphasis because I really want to get it. Mr. Vaz has denied that any donation he received from Smith was a personal gift. Remember that word, any donation he received from Smith was a personal gift, because that is conflicting with what Intel the Gleaner. So me no know if I flip-flop between two different answers, because Vaz tell the Gleaner something totally different from when tell the BBC. So which is it, Darrell Vaz? Which one are the answer them we run with? Because you tell two mainstream media outlet two different things. So based on the allegations that were outlined in court documents released by the Supreme Court in Turks and Caicos, one of the locations where Smith ran his multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme, yes, David Smith was also operating and running a Ponzi scheme out of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Andrew Holness, we want to be precise before saying anything. Translation, we now give back the money. Do you believe the JLP pocketed the full US $5 million? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Court documents out of Turks and Caicos say David Smith, the Olint Ponzi schemer who robbed over US $200 million, allegedly pumped US $5 million straight into the JLP's 2007 general election campaign. Now, let's be clear. The PNP admitted a much smaller donation, explained it openly, and moved on. But Andrew Holness and the JLP, they're still investigating years later, as if counting to 5 million requires a telescope and a calculator from NASA. Here's the real takeaway. One party faced the issue head on, the other ducked, dodged, and delayed. And in politics, silence is often louder than a confession. So ask yourself, if the JLP can't be transparent about a $5 million Ponzi scheme donation, what else are they hiding from Jamaicans? No, PM Holness, you keep on and make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Why you run go mention say, oh, the PNP received $1 million from Olint, when the Turks and Caicos Supreme Court documents clearly stated that the Jamaica Labour Party received US $5 million from Olint for their 2007 general election campaign donations. And me sister, you know, at the Turks and Caicos Supreme Court documents said that David Smith had donated US $5 million to the Jamaica Labour Party. You always open some door where you don't need to open. Because the moment you open the door, you open yourself and your party to political exposure. You're now politically vulnerable. You're now open to criticism and investigation, and our investigation shows us that the evidence, proof, and the facts shows us that David Smith donated US $5 million to the Jamaica Labour Party. So I guess you never properly think it through when you did a respond to Marky G. I guess you did inner your feelings and emotions, and that was just pure ego talking. So you respond out of your ego, not knowing say it did all backfire upon you, and you are going to expose yourself to investigation. Because we are going to dig up facts and find out, say, yeah man, a US $5 million only get from David Smith, so go figure. Well, the Integrity Commission did mention, say, Andrew Holness made investment or had money in Olint. But I never know, say, so Olint did entangle up with the Jamaica Labour Party. You see, had Jamaica been a serious country, based on that Integrity Commission report that tell us, say, the PM did have money in a SSL, he have money in a Olint, he have money in a Cash Plus, you see me, well-known Ponzi scheme that failed, even that would be a cause or a reason to resign and step down immediately. Separate and apart from the Integrity Commission report and affidavit, even that would have to make him resign and step down in any serious country. You knowingly know, say, you and your party received $5 million allegedly from David Smith's Olint Ponzi scheme. Zane, you knowingly know say you receive $5 million you know, and you actually blurted out say during the leadership debate say Mark Golding and the PMP benefited from a $1 million US donation from Olint. Which one you think look worse? Receiving $5 million towards your general election campaign in a 2007 or $1 million? Ding ding ding, the $5 million are gonna look worse. So yet again, you fail to score any political points or any political mileage in a weak and feeble attempt to try, discredit a Mark Jefferson Golding. And remember, that leadership debate against Mark Golding, you lost that leadership debate, Andrew Holness. Mark Golding walk away as the clear and definitive winner of that leadership debate. So, me no see how you just, them benefit from $1 million from Olint. Make it make sense, cause the math, math. How me if you know say, me and my party got a larger donation than that $1 million we me a talk about. Knowing say it is possible, say my secret might come out say, oh shucks, say the JLP also received $5 million towards your 2007 election campaign. Come on, PM Holness, you have to think before you act. As far as me see it, that outburst was just an emotional response. And when you're in your feelings and emotions, you not think logically, you not think rationally, and you not think clearly. That is why it is an emotional response. You not think critically. You should have never said that. That shouldn't come out of your mouth. None at all. So yes, PM Holness, we hear you in the leadership debate between you and Jamaica's future Prime Minister Mark Jefferson Golding. And we hear when you blurted out that the PNP received $1 million from Olint. So now, me never did I go make that go over my head and pretend like me never hear you say what you just say. So guess what? We are going to respond in kind. JLP still probing Olint donations, while the JLP has already admitted that it accepted donations from the company. Party leader Andrew Holness said it has not yet taken a position on whether to return the money. However, speaking at a press conference, Holness said the process of verifying the amount has been taking a while because the party wants to be precise in any statement on the matter. However, the JLP leadership sidestepped questions about whether the party would return any money found to have been donated by Olint or Smith. So here's the question for you. If court documents show the JLP pocketed US $5 million in Ponzi scheme dirty money, should they be forced to pay it back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is far from over. And trust me, the Olint scandal is just one episode in Jamaica's never-ending political soap opera. Hit subscribe, because the next scandal, it's already loading. Let's call it what it is. Ponzi politics. PNP came out cleaner. JLP looks shady. Should Jamaica pass a law to ban political parties from taking donations from questionable sources? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And there you have it. a convicted Ponzi schemer, a missing $5 million and a Jamaica Labour Party leadership still acting like they need Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine to investigate whether the money ever existed. Meanwhile, the PNP took their licks, admitted what came in and moved on transparently. It's the difference between a party trying to clean house and another sweeping everything under the rug. Right next to the curry goat bones, here's the big picture. Jamaica cannot afford for political campaigns to be bankrolled by fraudsters and shady donations, because when dirty money buys elections, everyday Jamaicans are the ones who pay the real price.
Holness.
But this is only the tip of the iceberg,
filing in the
because
case that you
if
brought
a Ponzi scheme
to try and strike down the act
millions
and eliminate the offence for
into
which you are being
JLP's
investigated,
campaign,
have said
what
that you had
else
money
has been
in the Ponzi
slipping
scheme
through
Olint
the
and
cracks
you got it out,
of
while
political
others suffered
financing
losses. You
in
had money
Jamaica.
in
So
Cash Plus, another
throw
Ponzi
this
scheme where people
question to
lost
you.
lots of money.
Should the
You got it
JLP be
out.
forced
And of
to
course,
return the
you
US
had
$5
money in
million?
SSL,
Yes or
and
no?
you were able to
And
withdraw
if
your
not,
money before it
what does
collapsed.
that
In
say
fact,
about
I would say the only person
accountability
that
in
Hussein
our
Bey Bowles has not been able to
Drop
catch
your
up with is you.
thoughts in the comments below.
And I want to
because
ask you,
the
how do you
comments
think and why do you think
are
the
where
people of
the
Jamaica
real
should trust you
Parliament
to
meets.
have be in
for
charge of the
watching,
governance of
and
the country for a
don't
third
forget,
term
hit
with that
like,
track record
subscribe,
and with
ring
that cloud
bell
hanging over your
so you
head?
don't
The leader of the
miss
opposition
next
is a liar
political
and cannot be trusted.
firestorm. Trust me.
I
the
lost
next
money
scandal
in
it's
Cash
already
Plus
brewing.
and Olint.
And when
However, the PNP accepted and received $1 million from
together.
Olint. He has no credibility to talk about Ponzi scheme. They benefited from the Ponzi scheme to fund their election campaign.